Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the CTKS method. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back CTKS family. My focus is to help you to live your best life through financial independence and emotional mastery. And I'd just like to let you know that you can directly message me on LinkedIn at any time. Knowing how price interacts with structure is really important. 2 days ago, Bitcoin sold down to literally $114,747. And I put out this post on LinkedIn and I said, it has sold down really sharply, but watch for the retest back to 117,885. At CTKS, we understand the exact levels when structure can flip. We also understand gravitational wells, or GWs. Literally, the CTKS method gives you a daily guide to find structure before price hits. We had a very good concept on what Bitcoin could do, and I put out this post on LinkedIn just to say that we were certainly coming up, but we needed to keep our eyes on the structural levels. And let's figure out what could be happening in this week. But before we get into structure, I'm going to tell you about some really important things you need to know about. There are a ton of key economic events coming out this week. Fortunately, Monday and Tuesday are fairly good, but Wednesday it starts to get rocky. Thursday will be absolutely insane. And Friday, actually not that much better. One of the things to just bear in mind, the FOMC press conference is this Thursday. As a community, we go straight to the data, and what do we see? 4.25 to 4.5% is the target rate. The percentage of probability of no change is currently 97.4%. The Fed is not going to reduce interest rates. And if you're doing the cheat sheet, you already know that, but it's just really good to point out. One of the things that we must look at is the Bank of Japan policy rate decision. Policy rate is very important. You might remember the yen carry trade, the unwinding of that. That was really turbulent times inside the market. We saw Bitcoin literally shoot down. Basically, what it comes down to are interest rate differentials globally. Money is always chasing the best yield, and the Bank of Japan has had historically low interest rates, and it's increasing them now. Now, what does this mean for the US market? If the Bank of Japan actually increases rates, we would expect capital rotation into the Japanese market and away from the US. You can get the watch list from ctksmethod.org. One of the things that I want to talk about quickly is the VIX. The VIX actually reduced a little bit in the last US session, and that created a little bit of positive momentum inside the markets. Now, one of the things, I'm just going to whip down here to the row 1 references. You can see all of these are going negative, but there's a bit of an issue and a bit of a problem here. The VIX has been coming down for months and months and months and months. This is not normal, people. Generally, what happens is that we get a bit of up and down reaction, a bit of basing and then a bit of a spike. What we're seeing actually right now is not that basing, it's still coming down. This makes the markets really vulnerable. This isn't a cause for concern or to freak out over anything. It's just something that you must keep on your radar. The VIX is historically low. It's hysterically low. As traders and investors, it's very important to know when to buy, how long to hold, and when to sell. You know when to buy because of structure. You know when to sell because of structure as well. But you know how long to hold because of your rate of return. If you want a 1% return, well, you need to hold a little bit less than if you want a 5% return. And if you want 1,000% return, well, that's a whole different story. Inside the markets, it's all about structure. Now, remember, when I put out that LinkedIn post, I was basically saying, yes, it sold down, and it sold down really hard, but we do anticipate a retest. What typically happens is people see this kind of negative price action and they panic and sell. We don't want to be a chicken trader, and if you know what that means, please put chicken trader into a comment. The way to overcome the panic inside the market is to simply drill in on the structure around price. When you drill in, just recent price is the way that you want to look at, but structure is all of price history. Now, a couple of things that we can see here. We can see that there's reasonable support just around that 18,700 and very, very good support where I called out in my LinkedIn post. But we knew this in advance. We know where all the key levels are before they actually print. That's why we know where to buy, where to sell, and how long to hold. One of the things that we're seeing right now, up around that 121,200 level, there's a positive CTKS gap. Now, what does this mean? There's basically no resistance between the current price 119,106 and this 121,200. That also means that we could structurally overshoot that level. Now, what does all that mean? It means that right now, currently, Bitcoin is looking really positive. You only need to look at structure, but you must understand where to get out of the market if you're trading. You will have to make that decision on a case-by-case basis. But if you're just in and out of the market, structurally speaking, you do not want to see Bitcoin dip below 117,800. If it comes down here and keeps on going, that indicates that the VIX may be starting to spike up. Instead, what we want to see is some consolidation around here and an upward push to that 121,200. That's what's currently on the cards, is positive price action, so long as we stay above this structure at around that 118,700 mark. Now, if we start to dip below there, we could get range bound for a period of time because this is reasonably strong structure at that 117,800 level. A lot of people say, oh, Ken, I just want to know how high it can go. It can go as high as structure allows it. But you only literally need to look at 3 levels in any particular period of time. For example, what is the structure around current price? What is the structure below current price and above? They're the 3 zones that you need to look at. That will create so much certainty for you. So what is the structure telling us at the moment? After this period of basing throughout the weekend, and the weekend can be really low liquidity, and basing is quite common, but we had a degree of strength to get above this structural resistance, so that's really impressive. This is adding to the bullish narrative on Bitcoin, and of course if Bitcoin goes up, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. The alts will go as well. Go up as well. Therefore, what do we need to look at? You can see this structural support level at 119,000. If we keep above 119, that is extremely bullish. That opens up the 121,200 mark. If we start to lose the 19,000, 18,000, 118,700 is the level to watch. We expect a good interaction with that structure. If we lose that level, we're looking at the 117,800 levels to hold. Now, if we start to lose that, that is really bearish, and you should take appropriate action. I know I will. Another thing that we can look at is to just investigate how the futures are going across the different markets. And when we look at the US futures, they're literally retracing to a previous high. This is good, and you want to see how it reacts to that high when it gets there. We also tend to keep a bit of an eye on the Russell 2000. That's a good indicator. And look at the ASX. Whew. But so far, the US indexes are pointing positive. This also bolsters the positive case for Bitcoin, but it always comes down to structure. Structure is what you need to look at. There is a ton of data hitting the markets this week. And you already know the probability of a rate cut is literally non-existent. It doesn't matter what stories people want to tell each other, the facts are what matter, and the facts are the only things that matter. Fortunately, the EU has reached a trade deal, so that's going to lower the amount of consternation or panic inside the market, but it could be really limited. What markets typically do is they just look for a panic button somewhere to explain if price goes down. One thing to understand, Bitcoin controls the fate of the altcoin universe. Now, what does that actually mean? If Bitcoin is coming up, the alts will turn around and follow it. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If Bitcoin comes down, the alts will also follow. This is why it's absolutely critical to look at Bitcoin. If you're trading and investing inside the crypto market and you're not looking at Bitcoin from a structural perspective, you're probably mystified as to why prices go up and down. Those prices are literally overstating and understating Bitcoin's directional momentum. Now, what happens here? If Bitcoin goes for it, where is Solana going? Well, it'll go for it as well, but it will be contained by structure. Now, what does that actually mean? It means that if you're trading and investing in Solana, you need to know where the structure is. If you don't understand where the structure is, how strong it is, you can actually end up selling at support or buying at resistance. To know where to buy, to get your financial independence, and I would always urge you to invest in your skills. Never get anyone or anything else to invest or trade your own money. A lot of people use bots and a lot of different things, and copy trading. Yeah, I can see the attraction of it, but seriously, if you don't have the skill, as soon as there's a market problem, you'll bleed and you won't know what to do. The best asset that you can ever invest in is your own education. Taking your own mind, your own skill set very, very seriously is important. Now, when we look at Solana at the current time, we can see that there's structural support at that 186.69 level. Now, what does that mean? The buyers will be stepping in here to support Solana. Now, what does it also mean up at this particular structural resistance level at that 189.31? Even if Bitcoin comes up, Solana will have a problem here. For example, it had a problem here. Solana hit that particular level and it dove down to the level below. Typically what occurs, if you feel like you're missing out, you can actually buy structurally at the lower structural level. This is the ultimate way to DCA in as an investor. If you would like to get this indicator for Solana and all of the indicators for the cheat sheet, they're available through the service at ctksmethod.org. If we lose this 186 level, we're on the way back to 182.60. If we structurally pass this, we're on the way up to our 189 level. And if we pass that, we're on the way to the 192. It is actually really, really simple to look at price in this way. But of course, you know everything comes down to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin at the moment is coming up. This is favoring a move up to the 189.50 level for Solana at the current time. And it really depends on what Bitcoin does, how it moves around. Price is always moving up and down all the time. It's moving in a wave. And just remember, this week is really crazy in terms of data releases. You could get some very, very wild swings up and very wild swings down. Please be prepared for those. Please let me know in the comments, do you think we're going to moon? Do you think we're going to crash? What do you think we're going to do? If you would like to learn more about CTKS structure, there's a fantastic video, Price Action Masterclass. It is an absolute game changer for you. The link is in the description of this video. Please make sure that you keep on doing your cheat sheet, especially this week. It's really valuable. And it's useful to remember all the world's markets act as one. All those financial instruments are playing across crypto, forex, commodities, indexes, yields, stocks. They're all a financial instrument in the global financial market. They all depend on each other's harmony. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.